how did I master having that faraway gaze?
Just think about how long
I mean,
this
this process could take a long time to talk about.
I was very lucky to have my mentor at the office, Greg Daniels, who hired me when I was off Broadway, and Howard Klein, who also hired me on that show and has kind of mentored me throughout my career. But it's because of that experience, I feel like it's so important, I don't know if you feel this in particular, to be a mentor to younger women.
Absolutely.
But I'm also a very impatient person. So what it means to me is like, okay, if I just hire younger women, does that mean I don't have to like sit and have coffees with them all day long? Because that's the thing is, mentorship to me now means like equals asking a woman who's successful to sit and have coffee so you can quote pick their brain. And I would rather die. So I'm like, we should just like hire them and then they can just see by learning instead of having to go to coffee shops all day long.
I had also seen Goodnight Mommy and I really loved that film, and then when I met them, they're just very odd and funny.
We're not odd, we're trying to be professional for once.
And I really liked being around them, and I really trusted them, and we just really got along, and it was like, I don't know, I just really liked them as people too, so I figured it would be an interesting experience.
We like you as a person as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But so when Bart and I were talking about Michelle and how much we wanted her to play this part, I said, I think I can find her email on an email chain, which is terrible, right? So, but because we were part of a group email, and I'm like, I can find it. And so rather than, because I wanted to get to her as quickly as possible. And because I said, honestly, as an actor, when people approach me with something, and I read it, yeah, it's true, you either respond or you don't. And so I wrote her a note and we sent her the script and she read it right away. And that's how it happened, from an email chain.
When I first met her and I saw her short, I was really impressed with her talent, and I was very interested in her story, and you know, just flowing resources to her in the way that we could, so that her voice could be heard and that her story could be told.
You know, I saw Maxwell's his first tape, which I looked at in London, and I was a bit confused, actually, to be honest. You know, I just thought I couldn't work out how he was doing what he was doing on the tape. He just had this extraordinary emotional intelligence and just a very minimalist kind of approach to everything. This real depth of understanding of what was going on, and I couldn't quite get my head around it. So I decided to come over to Nairobi pretty soon after that to audition him in a room together, so that we could just stand up and do some of the scenes together, and I could kind of figure out whether it had all been some kind of weird but it was, you know, when I met Maxwell, it was just even clearer just how talented he is, and that he was so definitely the person to really hold this story together. It really rested on his shoulders, you know, and I'm really aware of that kind of pressure and how complicated that is to do that.
More now, I think about my experience of being like an older actress in Hollywood and being somebody who's done this for such a long time, that now I'm like the person who's in charge. Like, I'm no longer the young person that's on set, and I'm really used to being like the kid. And then I realized just like, oh, like I'm the adult, like I'm the responsible party here. Like, it's up to me to, if I see something that's happening that's inappropriate. It's up to me to say something. Like it's up to me to protect these women, girls who are younger than I am, and to teach them how to protect themselves.
I think he just doesn't adhere to stereotypes. And I think one of his struggles, even though his community for the most part seems to embrace him regardless of that fact, it's something that he's struggling with personally. Him understanding what the signifiers are that he's going to employ, what the cultural tools are, who he is in the world, how he wants to amplify his voice, and how some of his styles and musical choices then get to project who he is into the world. And I think that many young people, in all honesty, are struggling with these same themes, same concepts, same ideas. And in a lot of cases, there's a lot of older folks who are struggling with these issues of identity. And being able to tell a story that allows a Black protagonist to explore that journey, that struggle, without the assumption that there are certain tools and certain stipulations and certain rules that he has to follow in order to frame his identity, is something that I thought was an interesting opportunity.
I mean, it's the love that she has for Big, and you know what that love is for both of them as something that grounds them. And then, I don't know, I thought it would be really something challenging to explore what happens when a love that has grounded you becomes something that, you know, is causing you more turmoil. And at what point do you choose to love yourself more than love your partner or your family member? And I think that's a very real thing that we often have to explore. And, you know, to be able to, you know, walking away sometimes is the biggest expression of love that, you know, you can give. And so I thought there were a lot of, you know, complex things to explore in terms of how does their love shift in this story.
You know,